Hey everyone, I'm Mark Morgan, and today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to play a shallow mouthpiece. For a lot of people, playing a shallow mouthpiece can be a hard thing to do. They're so used to playing the depth of their regular mouthpiece that it's hard for them to switch to something that's twice as shallow. Now, these types of mouthpieces can be hard to control, but there's an easy approach to getting more comfortable with them. I know a lot of great lead players who play on relatively deep cups because they say that they bottom out on shallow equipment. And when people say they bottom out, that means that their lips are hitting the bottom of the cup when they play, which stops the vibration, which also causes the sound to stop. This is probably the most common reason people give for not being able to play on a shallow cup. So first, let's define what a shallow mouthpiece is, why people choose to play a shallow mouthpiece, and also debunk some myths about them. Since people like to use Bach mouthpieces as a standard for measurements, we're going to say that anything shallower than a Bach E cup is considered a shallow mouthpiece. Although if you're used to playing an A cup, a D cup might feel pretty shallow. The reason you might want to play a shallow mouthpiece depends on the kind of music you're playing. We typically think of shallow mouthpieces as lead mouthpieces, but it's pretty common for people playing high-keyed trumpets like E-flat or piccolo trumpet to use them as well. But typically, you'll find lead players in a big band using shallower equipment to not only access the upper register, but to also get the right sound in order to cut through the band and project the lead line. But the main goal is to have easier access to the upper register. When I was younger, I thought that a shallow mouthpiece would automatically add 4 or 5 notes to my range, and that just isn't the case. I find that shallow mouthpieces make it easier to access the range you already have. A lot of younger players, and unfortunately their band directors, consider shallow mouthpieces as, quote, cheater mouthpieces. Now this annoys me because it just doesn't make sense. You have to use the right tool for the job. If you have a 5-acre lawn, you wouldn't want to use a push mower to mow it. You would use a riding mower. Would anybody say that you're cheating using that riding mower? No, because you use whatever tools you have to make your job easier. You can definitely play in the upper register with a deep cup, but you're going to be working twice as hard to get the same result. And that result might not even be what is the most appropriate for the music. When you listen to classic albums like Harry Connick Jr.'s Blue Light, Red Light, Stan Kenton's Cuban Fire Suite, or pretty much anything by Maynard Ferguson, you're not thinking about the mouthpiece that the lead players are using. And you're certainly not thinking that they're cheating when you hear those screaming high notes. You're just thinking about how good it sounds. So don't get caught up in thinking that you have to play everything on one mouthpiece. But let me be clear, I'm not saying that you should always play a shallow mouthpiece, but that you should use one whenever it's appropriate. So now let's look at how we're going to approach playing this type of mouthpiece. If you take players like James Morrison or Trombone Shorty, for example, you'll see them go back and forth between trumpet and trombone very seamlessly. They've developed a flex embouchure that allows them to make that switch. To develop a flex embouchure, you need to practice switching back and forth between your deep and shallow mouthpieces. You need to play on one mouthpiece until it starts to feel comfortable, and when it does, switch to the other one. This allows your lips to get used to playing these drastically different cups. So what I like to do is take a set of exercises and play a different mouthpiece on each set. I'm going to use the Chickwitz Flow Studies as an example, and I'm going to choose a few different mouthpieces to play on. I have a GR63M, which is my deepest mouthpiece, a GR63SZ, which is a little shallower, and a GR63XES, which is my shallowest mouthpiece. Now you don't have to use 3 different mouthpieces. I just happen to have 3 mouthpieces with the same inner diameter, but with different cup depths. I'm actually going to start with my shallowest mouthpiece, the 63XES, and play the entire first set. I'll take a short break and then play the second set on my 63 SZ. Now I'll play the third set on my 63M. You can keep switching sets like this, but once I get more comfortable playing these different mouthpieces, I'll start to play each line on a different mouthpiece. But one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is that the sound will change each time you switch mouthpieces. Don't expect that you'll get the same tone quality on your shallow cup like you do with your deep cup. You want to approach playing the shallow cup like you would your regular piece. Sometimes people think that you have to change things in your embouchure setup to make the shallow cup work. And don't get into tightening your lips or trying to manipulate things in a way that aren't natural to your playing. Try to stay relaxed and play with a focused aperture, and you'll start to feel more comfortable playing on shallow equipment. Guys, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, but also leave me a comment in the section below letting me know how this technique worked for you. Until next time, keep practicing, and I'll see you soon with another quick and easy trumpet tip.